The 10 News Weather Authority from the JES Weather Center.
Good morning, everyone. Here's a look at our picture of the day. This is a picture sent in by Shonda out in Buchanan of the other night where we had some thunderstorms build in, and she actually captured a picture of cloud to cloud lightning over top of the mountains. A really cool picture. Thank you for sending this in. If you have a weather related picture you'd like to share with us, you can go to WSLS.com/pinit to do so for your chance to see it right here on air. Temperatures out there this morning ranging between about 50 and 60 degrees. Some spots like Danville and South Boston at 61 or so. The Hill City and Roanoke are both at 57, and we were tracking some isolated showers earlier on this morning. Those have since moved out towards the north and east, and we're actually a little bit mild and muggy out there this morning with a lot of cloud cover overhead. But we saw some much needed rain last night, okay? Right along the I-81 corridor, we saw about a tenth all the way up to an inch of rain. Bedford received 0.99 inches of rain. Lynchburg, 3/4 of an inch of rain. Stewart, Martinsville, 4 to 8/10 of an inch of rain. And then trace amounts pretty much everywhere else. So no matter where you were last night, you likely saw a little bit of rain at least. So this morning, waking up and walking out the door, the ground is probably a little bit soggy. There's maybe a little bit of dew on some of the grass and some water droplets on your car. It's going to be mild and muggy out there. It's going to be cloudy, but cooler conditions are ahead. And then eventually the sun comes out later on this afternoon as we warm to about 74 in the Highlands and Roanoke, 75 for the Hill City, 78 for Southside, and the New River Valley stays in the upper 60s to low 70s. Now, most recent drought monitor came out yesterday morning, has not really changed from what we saw last week. Okay, reason being is because we are still in a deficit for the time of year. March, April, we were way behind on rain for the year. However, this month we're actually right on par, but because of the deficit that we received within the last 2 months or so, we're still trying to make up some of that ground. So that's why we still have abnormally and moderately dry conditions across the board. But thankfully, we're not dealing with what Texas and Arizona and New Mexico and Florida are dealing with as extreme droughts have unfolded in those areas. So we are lucky, to say the least, in terms of the dryness that we've been dealing with. However, once we head into this weekend, we will start to see another stationary front that builds across parts of the Gulf Coast, and then it lifts towards the north as we head into next week. Unfortunately, that does come at the expense of Mother's Day weekend for areas just to our south. So if you're traveling to, say, North, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, you'll likely see a little bit of rain on your Sunday. Here we are anticipating about a 30% chance of rain on our Sunday, thanks to that front eventually lifting off towards the north. It happens more so in the evening, overnight hours, and then continues into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, with temperatures maintaining themselves in the 70s before we start to clear up on Thursday and get back into the 80s next week.